Welcome! In this video, we're going to take a look at routing audio in FL Studio. The basic 808 template includes kick, clap, hat, and snare channels routed to mixer tracks 1 through 4. Let's add some steps. Nice! If I hover over the mixer track selector and click and drag or roll my mouse wheel, I can change that. I can even make 2 channels go to the same mixer track. Now, let's add a synth. We'll open the browser, go to Synth Classic and drag in a 3x oscillator. Shiny. This method won't route 3x oscillator anywhere but the master. See? If I wanted the audio from 3x oscillator to go anywhere else, I'd have to route it myself. But I'm lazy, and that's why we're going to have FL Studio do the work for us. Let's add another one. I could drop this directly onto a mixer track and it would auto-route the channel and name and color the mixer track. But I want FL Studio to do it all, so I will drop it on a playlist track header. Now, the channel is auto-routed, everything is named and colored, and there is a link between playlist, channel rack, and mixer. Meaning that if I hover over the now grayed out mixer track selector, FL Studio will move the link mixer track instead of routing the channel anywhere else. Conveniently, FL Studio also made a pattern for the synth. Let's double-click it to open the piano roll and add some notes. And we're back. I've rounded out this little project while you weren't looking. Down in the mixer, you'll see that currently all of my instrument channels are routed to the master. That is the last track in the chain before the audio is sent to your audio hardware. To better visualize this, I'll dock it to the middle. Right-click the track and select Dock to Middle. I'm also going to switch to the extra large view mode so we can see Insert FX plugins. Yes, not many FX plugins yet. Now, this is all fine and dandy. But how am I going to remember what's what in this project when I open it back up in 10 years? Let's do some organizing. Right-click a track, select Rename, Color and Icon. This one's the kick. I know, because I've made the beat. Obviously, drum tracks are blue. And perfect, there's a kick drum icon. Let's type in kick. Phew, that feels like work. FL Studio can help with that too. There are also name presets. These are chords, so we'll go for the chords one. And this one's a bass. Let's have the playlist clips reflect those changes too. Right-click on the playlist track header, then click Auto Name Clips. You know, I think the chords could do with some reverb and delay. So let's do that. Click on the Mixer Track FX selector, and add a reverb 2. And a delay 3. Lovely! You could also use the browser for dragging in effects. Like this. I don't need 2 delays in a row, so let's delete this one. Click the Mixer Track FX selector, and then click on Delete, or hit E on your keyboard. What order your effects are in can play a massive role in how your tracks sound, so I'll show you how to reorder them. Click the Mixer Track FX selector and go to Move Up or Move Down. Alternatively, you can hover over the plugin and roll your mouse wheel. Whee! I've done some more things while you were away. I think it's time to add a send reverb for the snare now. Luckily, we already have the snare track selected. So, let's click the routing arrow on a free mixer track to send audio from the snare to that track. Then, we'll grab a reverb for it. I'm going to turn off the dry signal in here, so we're getting reverb only. Now we can control the snare reverb with a fader on its mixer track. Neat! You don't have to do it this way. You could put a reverb on each mixer track. But this tutorial is all about routing, so let's use it to reduce the number of reverb plugins we need to use. If you only want to hear reverb without the dry, you can unroute the snare from the master. That way, you can better get a sense of what the reverb actually does, and it's even helpful as a sound design tool in a lot of cases. Let's properly title that too. We'll use the verb send preset, cause, well, it's definitely a verb send. Okay, I think with some compression, all the drums would sound more like a single unit. So, let's make a drum bus. We'll hold Ctrl, then click and drag on our drum tracks to make a multi-selection. Then, go to a free mixer track and right-click its routing arrow. You'll want to click on Route to this track only to send all audio from your selected tracks through that track before it can go anywhere else. That will of course undo our send, but don't fret. With one simple click, it's remade. Let's call this something before I forget. Nice, there's a drum mix preset. Okay, that's too lazy. And then, let's smash the drums with a Frigi limiter. And bam, bus compression, gotta love it. The final routing option we're gonna look at is external routing. For that, I'll select the master track since it already shows audio going out to your main audio outputs. Down in the bottom right corner, you'll see that your outputs on the master are already selected. Here is where you would find other outputs to hook up to a second pair of speakers, modular synths, or hardware effects. In the top right corner is where your audio inputs live. Here's where your interface's inputs, microphones, guitars, synths, etc. will be listed. At the top, you'll see stereo pairs of all inputs. At the bottom, you'll see each mono input. Check the video information for links to using these features. And with that, I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of routing audio inside FL Studio.